and this is painting on a shoestring. 3 brushes, 2-inch brush, number 1 brush, fan brush. These 3 brushes will do an entire painting for you in 30 minutes. 3 colors. Acrylic paint. Acrylic is a type of plastic, so it's very durable. When you're all done painting your picture, you can do anything to it and it'll stay beautiful for years to come because acrylic is a very strong paint. So what we'll do is we will use Prussian blue, titanium white, and hooker's green. These 3 colors and these 3 brushes will do your whole painting for you. So it's inexpensive, it's fun, and it's very uncomplicated. So let's start with one of my favorite subjects, which is the full moon. I even sneak out at night and look up at the moon and the stars and try to imagine where we all come from. And then the next day I'll paint it, my version. So here's a version for all of you. First thing to do that's always fun is put a nice blob there. Let's get a nice blob. Take your finger, do a little rub in a circle. Round and round and round we go. This can also be done with a brush. I like the feel of the canvas under my fingers. This way I could tell when I need to add water. To show you, for example, if you add some water, do it like this, you can spread it out just a little bit more. Take your brush, put in a little moon. Just like so. Fingers again, rub in a circle. Want to add a little bit more. Let's add, I love it, a harvest moon is always such a magical moon. It has a little bit of orange in it. We'll put a little bit of orange in it like this and make it glow just a little bit more. Harvest moon, like a big, fat, juicy pumpkin. Okay. Then, brushes are also very good tools when you use the back of the brush. It's not always the front of the brush that works, back of the brush. You dip it in the paint, and you can do just a little bit of stars. Maybe even the Big Dipper. Everybody loves the Big Dipper. Or how about Orion's Belt? 1, 2, 3. I could even show you how to do Hercules, but that's for another lesson. All right, now I teach about 200 children a week. I have my own school. It's called the Little Red School of Art and Music, which I started with 13 children, my lucky number. Now this is a fan brush. Looks like a little fan. Always very important when you're working on a flat surface is to give it dimension. To make your painting come alive, you have to play little tricks with your paint with shadows and highlights. Shadows and highlights, dark and light. This creates a breath of life to that flat surface. So first, we'll put a little blue in our white, in our titanium white, and we'll go like this. Squiggle, squiggle, oh. Squiggle, 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 oh. Air currents. We will have water in this painting. And once again, remember water is an important friend. If you wet your finger and you go like this, you can always create more of a blur to your paint, more of a blending. Just a little bit of a rub. Okay, let's put one over here too. That little. And remember your edges. Don't put everything in the middle. It's called composition. You create a balance with your work. You stand back, you look at your work, you create a balance. A great trick with that is you hold your painting when it's done. You go in front of a mirror, which removes you a step back from your own painting so that you can truly see the composition after working on something for a long time. So we've got stars and a moon. Let's put in some water for that. We will use this, a 2-inch brush. Wonderful. When you paint, it's good to learn to go both sides of your brush, back side, front side, so you don't run out of paint quickly. And once again, if you're painting outside and it's a little bit, if the air is dry, you have to remember to use your water. Dip in your water. All right, side to side, when the tides rise, even if something is in front, the tides rise in a straight line. Being an artist is part scientist. You have to understand why nature does what it does. There's gravity. Gravity keeps everything, all the oceans and the rivers, in line to the planet. So it's important to learn to paint from side to side with a straight line. Pull, 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 straight. Flip your brush over. Like so. So you have this nice water moving forward. There will be a highlight from the moon. The moon's directly in the middle. So we'll take a little bit of white. We'll cap those a little bit. And it's always great fun to use the fan brush. Not only is it good for squiggle, squiggle, pull with your clouds, but it's also a very good brush to use to make a cresting wave. So once again, you take your fan brush. Because the wave is cresting, it catches that moonlight, the surface of the water. It catches that moonlight. So where the water is more shallow, we'll do a little bit of a wave that's breaking right there. Just like so. So simple. Once again, all it is a pull up and down. Simple, simple, simple. Then a little bit of disturbed water because that water's moving now from those waves. Like so. Now another good thing about a fan brush is it's very good for doing palm trees, which I will show you in maybe 2 minutes. Right now I am going back, because I promised to use only 3 brushes, I'm going back to my 2-inch brush. I'm going into my green, adding a little tiny bit of black. This is Mars black, which by the way has a tiny little bit of red in it. Thus the name Mars black. And I am going to put a far away island over here, maybe volcanic. So it'll look a little bit like a volcano, and it'll come right down across the water. Now, this is important too. When you are doing a landscape or a seascape, and you're doing a land formation, you don't paint straight across. What you do is you paint up and in the direction of that land. A hill, for instance. My brush strokes do all the work for me. Not just going up. It's like dancing. Beautiful. When I paint at home, I paint to music because that really gives me a flow. So once again, we have to highlight. So I'm going into the white. And I'm going up and down, catching that moonlight. Just beautiful. Every time I do a painting, it comes out different. At one time, I had this great success with a winter scene. Every show I did, it sold, so I kept on painting it. every time I painted it, it came out totally different. And each time I painted it, I loved it more because I became more familiar with the tiny little differences that make such a difference in your painting. Little changes in color, or a highlight or a shadow, or a mistake that you cover up and then you go, ooh, I just learned something from that. So I am going to add a little bit more white. I use paper plates. They're easy to use, easy to throw away when I'm done. Teaching over 200 children a week, I've learned how to keep my sanity by keeping my cleanup easy. So here's a little bit more, and it's up and down, pull and flow right across there. Okay, very nice. Now that I made that little, see, there's no such thing as mistakes. Let's put in another piece of land. There we go. Okay, that's good. That gives me the opportunity to switch back to my fan brush and show you how to do grass. Now that I have that little island in front, fan brush. Go like this, pull, 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 towards you, pull, pull, pull. And less paint is always better than more paint. Pull, 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 all different lengths. Just like so. Since we have this yellow in our moon, let's add a little bit of that yellowy orange to our painting. It'll pop it right out by adding that color of the moon to the work itself. Okay, once again, fan brush is a wonderful brush. You want to take advantage of all those little hairs. So make sure that your paint is not too thick. You want to keep it thin. Nice. Maybe right directly underneath the moon. Let's give it a little bit more. Oopsie. Okay, beautiful. Now, fun part, palm trees. Years and years ago, I got tired of my little town and I wanted to get out of here and go someplace very special, and I moved to Negril, Jamaica, which was an awesome place to live. I counted about 50 different types of palms, from banana palms to coconut palms to just little shrubby palms. And I've learned over the past few years how to use my fan brush and do a very quick and easy palm tree. So, when we use the fan brush, and there's two ways to use it. Full-faced like this or side view like this. I tell the children, 12 o'clock, straight like this. You pull, pull, pull. Maybe a little one over here. We don't want to block that whole mountain. Pull. Then a little bit of a highlight right there. Here's the light, so it'd be on the inside, like so. Very good to have contrast, maybe a little, we'll pick up the contrast a little bit more. All right, now we take the same fan brush. It is good to wipe it a little bit. We'll give it a little bit of a cleanup job. Go back to the green. Now, very simple. Scoop and pull. Scoop, pull. Scoop. Oh, you know, let me add a little tiny bit of yellow. I don't want it to be too dark. It's not good if it's too dark. Then everything just kind of disappears. You want to use that highlight and that shadow to make it pop. So we scoop and we pull. And we scoop and we pull. We scoop, pull, and we scoop, and we pull. Let's do one more over here. Scoop, pull. It's nice if they're all different, a little bit different in color. The light's right overhead. Scoop and pull. Okay, one more time. Scoop, pull. This one's nice and yellow with that moonlight right overhead. Both sides of your brush. Just like so. Once again, good to have a little rag, wipe your brush a little bit, or a paper towel. Scoop, pull, scoop, pull, scoop, pull. Just like so. Stand back. Critique your own work, see what you need to do to give it a little bit more of an interesting story to tell. I teach a lot of children. They learn how to do a tree, they put in a tree, and then they say, Mrs. West, what do I do now? I say, you have to create your own story. Each painting is telling the viewer something about what is going on in the world or within a dream or whatever. But the point is, tell a story. So I'll take a little bit more of that green and I'll do the old chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop is pull, 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 pull. Maybe a little land here in the foreground. The front is the foreground. The back is the background. Chop, 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 chop. Composition. You want to have a balance, a natural balance. And a highlight. Always important to have a highlight. Makes that flat surface become 3D. Fully dimensional art. Pop, pop, pop. Put a little bit in front. We'll pop that out. Very simple. 3 brushes. And actually, I added a little bit of black. Don't want to cheat for the trunks. So there we go. That's the lesson for today. Probably all the materials together will cost you about $3.95. Not that money matters, because it's the joy of painting that counts. Thank you, and hope to see you again.